When politics become personal, even home ground can turn into a battlefield, and in Homa Bay, the political battle appears to be getting hotter. Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna has led the Linda Mwananchi movement into Homa Bay County, a region that has historically been one of the strongest political pillars of the Orange Democratic Movement, ODM. But this was not a symbol, another political tour. This was a political statement, because Homa Bay is not just another county, it's one of the most politically significant county in Nyanza region. And working with the political territory under the Linda Mwananchi banner, at that time when tension within ODM already high, was always going to attract attention. Sifuna's team faced what their camp describes as hostile and resistance. But despite this attention, the movement went ahead with engagement. And now, the question is, did Linda Mwananchi just demonstrate that it can command support even the backyard of the fiercest political opponent, or as political parties inside Nyanza entered a completely new phase? For Sifuna and his supporters, this tour appeared to be about more than holding a rally. It's about providing political reach. It's about demonstrating that the Linda Mwananchi is not just a confined to Nairobi or Western Kenya. The movement has been taking its message across different parts of the country, building grassroots network and positioning itself as the platform for political change. Recent report described Linda Mwananchi as a growing political movement, as with Edwin Sifuna and other opposition figure, with the national tours attracting significant public attention. And now, they have lived in Homa Bay, a place where political royalty land deep, a place where the name matters a lot, a place where political history matters, and a place where the part of influence within ODM is becoming increasingly visible. To understand why this tour is significant, you have to understand Homa Bay politics. For years, Homa Bay has been regarded as one of the ODM's strongest political territory. It's also a political home for Governor Gladys Wanga, who serves as the ODM national chairperson. And it's also the constituency of Homa Bay Town MP Peter Kaluma, one of the most outspoken critics of Sifuna and the Linda Mwananchi camp. Kaluma has publicly attacked Sifuna, arguing that the Nairobi senator political influence depends on ODM structure. Wanga, meanwhile, has openly challenged Sifuna over his position on the broad-based government, alleging under the direction of ODM. So, when Sifuna walks into Homa Bay with Linda Mwananchi, is walking directly into political storm. The Linda Mwananchi camp has been pushing a message to ordinary citizen and accountability and political change. The argument appears to be simple. Political movement should belong to the people, not individual. The message is particularly important as the country moves toward general election 2027. Sifuna has repeatedly positioned himself as the focal opposition figure, while insisting that the broad struggle should not be reduced in its own presidential ambition. In one recent interview, he said the focus should be on liberating the country rather than simply on whether he is personally running for the president. The distinction is important because the critics are already asking, is Linda Mwananchi a political movement for the people, or is it slowly becoming the launchpad for Sifuna's national ambition? The question remains open. But the biggest political challenge for Sifuna may not be the crowd, it may be the political establishment within Homa Bay. Governor Gladys Wanga has been one of the most prominent voices defending the existence of ODM leadership structure. She has also criticized Sifuna's political position. In February, Wanga challenges Edwin Sifuna over his stance on the broad-based government, arguing that he had been part of the negotiation that led to the arrangement. And then there is Peter Kaluma. Kaluma has been over more than direct. He has repeatedly attacked Edwin Sifuna politically, including questioning his strength outside the ODM structure. In May, Kaluma described as political weak without ODM backing, so the political confrontation no longer hidden. it is public, loud, and is becoming increasingly personal. Sifuna accused the political opponent of attempting to frustrate Linda Mwananchi activity in different parts of the country. The movement has previously faced disruption during some of this tour. For example, April Linda Mwananchi rally in Kitengela ended after political used the tear gas to disperse supporters, while Sifuna accused the state of harassment and sabotage. The history make every new to a political sensitive. So when the movement entered the region where there is political disagreement, every confrontation become part of the biggest national narrative. The supporters see resistance, the opponent may see ordinary political competition, and some in between lie the truth that the voters will ultimately decide. But did Linda Mwananchi actually conquer Homa Bay? This is where we need to be careful. A large crowd does not automatically translate into votes. A successive rally does not automatically mean electoral victory. And the political noise does not necessarily equal political strength. But there is something that cannot be ignored. They showed up. They become visible. They become out. They took their message to politically sensitive environment. They faced the criticism. They continued the political engagement. They alone sent the message. The supporter of Linda Mwananchi is prepared to take its campaign beyond the comfortable political territory. What we are witnessing may actually be bigger than Sifuna versus Wanga. It may be a battle over the future of direction of ODM. One side is the faction associated with Dr. Oburu Odinga and Gladys Wanga, which has defended the party existing structure. On the other side is increasing focus Linda Mwananchi camp associated with Edwin Sifuna and other opposition figure. The division has become very visible as part of the division has become so visible that the party's traditional underground slogan itself become part of the political fight. In May, Wanga announced that the ODM was moving away from underground slogan and would instead use ODM to Kotayali. Sifuna responded with the phrase "Linda ni mchamo," adding another layer to the public rivalry. The extent just how deep the disagreement has become. Everything eventually leads to one question: who will carry the opposition flag, presidential flag in 2027? That's the elephant in the room. Because Sifuna is no longer being discussed in many areas, ODM Secretary General or Nairobi Senator is growing national tour pushed him to a much bigger conversation. Will he become a presidential candidate? Will Linda Mwananchi become part of the large opposition coalition? Will Sifuna eventually sit at the same table with the other potential presidential contender? This question remains answered, but the political ground is clearly being laid. Can Sifuna break into Nyanza? This is perhaps the most fascinating question. Sifuna become Nairobi Senator, but his political ambition appear increasingly national. For him to become a serious national contender, he needs support beyond Nairobi. He needs Western, he needs Nyanza, Central Kenya, Rift Valley, the coastal region, and the most important, the youth of the country. And the most important, he needs a coalition. This is why the tour like the Homa Bay visit mother. They allow him to test the political water. They allow the movement to build the network, and they give a voter opportunity to see whether Linda Mwananchi is more than a Nairobi-based political project. But there is a big obstacle. The opposition has a familiar problem. Too many ambition, too many leaders, too many potential presidential candidates, and some too many political egos. If Sifuna wants to lead the opposition, he will have to convince the other leader that this candidacy can unite rather than dividing them. And that will not be easy. These are the heavyweight opposition figure with the national ambition, their regional interest, their party structure, their long-standing political reality, and there are millions of voters who cannot simply be structured where to go. The root of factor. And While the opposition lead the fight among themselves, President William Ruto remained the man they want to defeat. The creative of vaccinating political contradiction, the opposition want to remove the incumbents. Before they can confront William Ruto, they must first solve their own internal differences. The question therefore not simply, can Sifuna defeat William Ruto? It is, can Sifuna help build an opposition coalition capable of challenging Dr. William Samoei Ruto? Those are two completely different questions. And that is why Homa Bay matters. It's not necessarily about the size of the crowd. It's not simply about shouting the loudest. It's about political endowment. Can Linda Mwananchi continue moving into region where the leadership is challenged? Can survive criticism from established politicians? Can transform rallies into grassroots structure? Can Sifuna convert national popularity into force? Can he convince other opposition leaders that his political ambitions are compatible with theirs? Those are the really tests. Linda Mwananchi, too, of Homa Bay has added another chapter to the increasing dramatic political battle within the opposition. Sifuna and Sarai have demonstrated that they are willing to take their message into political difficult territory. Their opponent, including leaders such as Gladys Wanga, Homa Bay Governor, Homa Bay Town MP Peter Kaluma, have made their disagreement with Sifuna publicly. The political temperature is rising, but beneath the shouting, the accusation and the rallies lie a much bigger question. Will control opposition going into 2027? Will the old political structure survive? Will the younger generation take over? Will Linda Mwananchi become a major national force? Or will the opposition once again fracture under the weight of competing ambition? For now, one thing's clear. Homa Bay was not just another stop on the Linda Mwananchi tour, it was a political test. And when you support Sifuna, Wanga, Kaluma, or another political camp, 2027 is already beginning leading the street of Kenya. Boniface National TV.